Hello, everyone. Hi, my name is Chris Adams, president of the Adams Technology Group, and I have some fantastic, tremendous announcements for you guys and our clients. A couple things. I'm going to share with you what the initiative is that we have for our company moving forward for 2026. It's not really a shift that we're making. Maybe it's kind of a heavy focus, but for us, in what we've seen coming down in the technology space, in the managed IT space, and the managed services space, whatever you want to call us, it has been security. And we've kind of had our thumb on that, and it's been on our radar. So we are going to be making kind of a change. We've added some pretty heavy new security features to the company, almost to the fact where we are making a distinction in what we're going to be doing from MSP, Master Service Provider, which is kind of what they call IT companies. Remind you guys that I started the MSP space in 2017 because I saw a need. And we started that with our help desk. Our help desk continues to kick ass, right? We're responding to tickets in 29 minutes. We're answering phone calls in 3 rings. We got unbelievable testimonies, right? Our help desk is top notch. Our hardware fulfillment team is turning over repairs in 24 hours. We've got onboardings, offboardings. Like, the whole company is really humming. But as you guys know, and those who don't know me are going to try to find out, is the fact that we're always looking for ways to be better. And we need to be better because our clients need us to be better. And that's security. Now, security has always been a part of our organization, right? I've always said that if you don't have a secure network, you don't have a network. And that is true. I think what's changed is the threat actors and all of the stuff that we have to protect now. And pillar number 1 for us in our organization, and Parrish will pull up a shot of this, but it's over here sitting on the wall, is network security. There's 3 little bullets to that. It's the logical side, it's the physical side, and it's the practical side. And that's really what this shift is about, is it's taking that to the next level, right? The threats and the attackers are pushing this way, and we're going after these sons of bitches, right? And I'm super excited about this. Our entire team is excited about this. So MSSP, Managed Security Services, I like to say solutions, but not to break away from whatever the nomenclature is. MSSP, Managed Security Services Provider. So what does that mean for you guys? It means that we're going to start talking to our clients about how can we fortify your network. And let's be honest, I'm not here to convince you that you need to have enhanced network security and cybersecurity policies. The conversations that we're going to have are the people that do understand, that are proactive, that understand that technology is an investment. Investments deserve to have ROI. Most of the time, the biggest component of network security is downtime. And if you've tried to figure out what it costs you to be down, right, from some sort of event, a breach, whatever you want to call it, that costs money, hard money and soft money. And that's really what we do. Our help desk eliminates downtime. Our hardware team eliminates downtime, right? This MSSP is the proactive, not the reactive side, right? The MSP side, what we've traditionally been doing is reaction, right? And what we're doing now is we're moving into the hunting. We've partnered with some great vendors out there that have some incredible tools. We've been using these tools for years. And we're just now bringing on the other services for them. So a couple of things that I want to talk about. First and foremost, if you're interested in talking to us about, what does it look like for what we're calling our SOC services. That's the Security Operations Center that runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I'll kind of get into that a little bit later when I go through the services. But we are going to start with a cybersecurity. Actually, let me just get down here. I'll tell you exactly what it says on the website. This is where it starts. Cybersecurity and vulnerability audit. Your gateway to fortified proactive defenses, right? Notice that I say proactive in there. This is what this is. This is where your security journey begins, by identifying gaps and building a roadmap for protection with our MSSP services, okay? We can't protect what we don't know, okay? So we have a tool. It's called Titan. And this Titan hardware we will put into our clients' networks that want security services, and it is a probe. It goes out and it's looking for not necessarily gaps, but it's gathering intelligence. And then what it does is it takes that intelligence and goes out against a couple of three different databases, and it pulls different known threats against the database. Okay, so what this does is it allows us to go in and provide a baseline. And the thing that I love about this tool, right, our Titan product, is it is 100% objective. It's not so much subjective in me saying, hey, you need this, hey, you need this. It is a report, and Stephen has done a fantastic job of putting these reports together, and we just work through it objectively. We look at endpoints, we look at M365, we look at servers, we look at all firewalls, all the things. And it really becomes a powerful conversation with our clients and saying, okay, here's where you're at. What do you want us to fix? What do you want us to protect? And really, that's probably one of the most important parts of our job. Is I can't force any of our clients to do anything. What I can do is I can empower them. How do I empower them? We empower them by providing facts. This report, this Titan service, provides that report. And we've been running them for about 6 months, maybe not quite that long. And we've done 12 to 15 of them. And the feedback that we're getting is unbelievable. And it's mostly like, holy cow, I didn't know that. And it provides a lot of insight into what the methodology is. And I'll get into this too, is, okay, why are we protecting? Why do we need patch management? Like, what is so important about that? It's extremely important because really on the security landscape, for so long, we were just protecting the endpoint, okay? Manage antivirus, malware, all the things there. But now what is tied to the endpoint is what we're calling the user identity, right? And the user identity is their username and password for, 365 that's being used throughout the entire internet, right, for all things. That there now is really what's providing another point of penetration, right? So we got to protect that. So it's not just the endpoint, but it's also the identity, right? It's the employee identity, username and password. So this gives us a baseline. It takes a lot of time to put this into place. We try to run it for about 10 days and we try to run it over a weekend, of course. I don't think you can do 10 days without a weekend, but correct me if I'm wrong. But we run it through the weekend because we're trying to gather as much data as possible. And then it takes us about a week, obviously, to compile all this data, right? And I'm not going to bullshit you. There are some generic reports, but every report is not necessarily for the specific client, right? We don't want to put our clients in boxes, right? We pride ourselves on the fact that we create custom and unique service solutions, support solutions for our clients. This is no different here. So our Titan service is first and foremost, it is being priced at, right, very affordable, $5, right, per user per month, or you can just pay the whatever the price is per whatever that comes out to per user upfront. So either you pay for it upfront, and then you can take that report and give it to internal IT. You could give it to your other IT company, and they can do with it what they want, or you can help. You can use us to remediate and then fortify. So it's a really powerful tool. And anyone coming up on our MSSP services has to use this. I can't protect what I don't know. And this is as good for our clients as it is for us. And it kind of becomes a baseline. So that's the first thing where we start with our MSSP services. So I'm just going to jump over here and talk about what we've put on the website. So if you go to adamstechnology.group, you'll see that across the top, services, managed security, right? So even from a mindset, we have put managed security as the top offering, okay? That sets the tone for the things that we're talking about. We need to be securing our clients' networks, right? And there's a lot of things. It's not one thing, it's 10 things. So on the Security Operations Center, if you click on services, go to managed security and go to the SOC, we are offering 24/7 cybersecurity monitoring, detection, and response supported by our industry-leading vulnerability scanning compliance platform. So it's kind of a custom platform that we've put together with a combination of a few different vendors, vendors that we've vetted, vendors that are 1 and 2 in the industry. We can't provide great MSSP services if we're not using the best tools. And these guys are the best. And so in conjunction with the cybersecurity audit, now we can go through and we can start saying, okay, these are some of the things that we need to protect. So our base MSSP, or what we're calling our SOC services, has about 7 components to it. Okay. And what I'm calling this is the core. You have to have these things for our SOC to be able to protect you at the level that you need to be. There are additional add-ons, which I'll go into here, which are unique to specific industry, right? Healthcare needs, different things than financial services, than manufacturing, than, other professional services, right? So first and foremost, right, these are the things, right, that we're delivering in our SOC services, right? Endpoint remote monitoring and management, right? We've got to put an RMM tool on each of our endpoints. Now, we're already doing this through our managed IT services platform, so this is nothing new. But what does change is that the Windows 11 security updates and patches, this is important. One of the things that the cybersecurity audit provides us is it gives us the status of all of the endpoints, right? And patching for both the OS and the updates for the security become critically important because if Windows is not fixing their own shit, right? And let's be clear, Windows is fixing a lot of their own stuff, right? I mean, think about it. 3 and 4 or 5 years ago, even if you crazy and go back 15 years ago, how often were we doing updates and patches? Monthly, maybe quarterly, right? Remember the quarterly updates? Now, how often are we doing it? It's weekly. So we've got to put your endpoints into a rhythm, right? Into a flow where they're consistently getting their patches. And case in point, if a patch doesn't go, then we need to get notified the fact that it didn't go, and we need to figure out what happened. All right, computer is offline. It took the update, tried to reboot, got hung up, whatever it is, right? Because you can imagine that if computers don't update in the network and they're patching a specific vulnerability and that patch doesn't happen, what does that mean for the device? It means that it's vulnerable. Okay, that's what we're trying to shore up. That's important. We've run a lot of these cybersecurity audits, And we are finding that we've got many, many, many revisions back because people are not rebooting their computers so the patches will get it, right? They just hit the ignore, right? Because they show up in the morning. Windows got a prompt, hey, listen, there's a security patch that's been updated. We need a reboot to apply it. Do you want to do this now or do you want to wait? Well, it hits the wait in case in point. But the problem is to the CEO, to the C-suite, to the owner, that's a problem because now they've created a vulnerability. Okay? So that's what we're trying to shore up. Windows 11, right, and Mac, endpoint patching is critical, right? It is critical. This allows us, we will go through and we will be monitoring that. So we'll know in our SOC team, right, our Security Operations Center team, we have a team put together, and I'll talk about that, is looking for those things. Managed detection and response, MDR. We are constantly looking for anomalies in the system that are doing things that they shouldn't be doing, right? So, case in point on the EDR, MDR, and I say EDR, MDR, it's one of those things where it depends on who you talk to, but it's typically, it's not endpoint detection, it's managed, right? So we're managing the endpoints. So we're looking for things going on on the computer. Case in point, we put canary files, PDF, and Excel in a Word document to keep this really simple. If we start seeing certain things that in the subsystem, in the file system, that start to change those, we get a notification. We immediately isolate the machine from the network, right, which is first and foremost. All right. Now that's an important point because in the other world, in the managed IT world, that didn't happen. What happened was said employee would start to see something really weird going on their computer and say, well, that's weird. And then, maybe pick up the phone, make a phone call, figure out who to call. All in time, they're wasting valuable time for that encryption or whatever that nefarious act is. And then it starts to infect and maybe it has already moved its way laterally across the network, right? That's the difference between reactive and proactive. As soon as we see the threat, we immediately isolate the device from the network so it can't go out. And then we put it in quarantine. We get a notice, right? And then we work with the employee and the client and figure out, okay, this is the threat. This is what popped. What's the remediation? Okay? So that's the power of MDR, Managed Endpoint Detection and Response. Very powerful. Obviously, in conjunction with that, we have Managed Antivirus. Endpoint Detection and Response, EDR, that's just kind of what I talked about. Managed Detection and Responsibility Threat Detection and Response. Parrish, we have a typo on the website. It's Identity Detection, Threat Detection and Response, ITDR. Okay, this is the identity piece of the service, right? So we're going to be following the identity around the internet, right? Inside their M365. So this is the additional layer of security that isn't typically done under a normal managed IT, type service. So this is really, really powerful. So case in point, if the identity, right, gets breached or there's some sort of, anomaly, we isolate the identity immediately, okay? Immediately, and then it's just kind of the same thing. And I'm making this significantly simplified. Isolates the user from anything else, right? So we've got them locked down, we put them in quarantine, and then we work through to get that, right? So they can't move laterally across, right, the M365 space. So that's really, really powerful. And then the last thing is, which seems to be getting pushed out fairly regularly, is multi-factor authentication. Okay, we still get some pushback from employees, clients with employees who don't want to put some sort of authenticator on their mobile device phone. And we've been working through some of that. And if employees want to access email outside of the office, they really need to be using their phone from an authentication standpoint, multi-factor authentication. But if they don't want to do that, then we can use like a physical device, like a YubiKey or something on that lines. Now, on the MFA, one of the things that we kind of try to recommend is something outside of the Microsoft ecosystem, like Duo or some sort of SSO, identity management like Okta, where the authentication is outside of the Microsoft ecosystem, so it provides another layer of security. Okay? If the threat actor understands that they're trying to breach you and you're using Microsoft Authenticator, they're actually going to build the threat sequence for assuming that you're using Microsoft Authenticator, and most people are using it because it's the easy thing to do. They will be able to bypass that. And I'm not going to go into all the different types of ways that they can do it, man-in-the-middle attacks, etc., but there is a way that they can get around that, right? And it's proven. So those are kind of the core services around our MSSP product. It is significantly enhanced from just the traditional reactive managed IT type stuff, right? This is proactive, right? There is a lot of power in threat intelligence that we're getting out of these core services. Now, from the core services and coming from the cybersecurity audit, we kind of in the industry and some more, penetrating questions, we can start adding some other services. So what are some of the other services we can do? We can enhance your Microsoft licensing, right? Move it to like an E3 or an E5 or a P2 to enhance Defender, take advantage of Intune, advanced spam filtering. Everyone should be using a professional spam filter. That is kind of a no-brainer, right? The quarantine digests and just filtering out, right? Because AI is just like blown up our emails. So got to have a professional spam filter. Firewall management and firmware updates. It's just not having a firewall. One of the things that the firewall vendors are understanding is the fact that those are small computers now. Those small computers need updates. Those updates need to be managed. Case in point, we've got a big, I think we sent out the security bulletin yesterday. We've got a WatchGuard patch that's going out. I think we opened up the maintenance window for Friday at like 9 p.m. We're patching a known vulnerability that WatchGuard had pushed out. That's what this does. If you want us to make sure that we're patching your firewalls, managing your firewalls, right? Because once again, they are small computers. We provide that service. So we're monitoring it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and making sure that the patches are happening. Continuous network monitoring and discovery, right? This is part of the Titan solution. If we keep it on board, it's going to notify us anytime a device comes on the network, right? And for us managing onboarding or the IT guys managing onboarding, this becomes really powerful because we start to identify, rogue devices. My favorite, password management and privileged access. I'm not going to get on my soapbox here, but here's the thing. You can't be concerned about cybersecurity and network vulnerability if you're not using a password manager. As a business owner, right? That's responsible for a lot of clients out there. Passwords are the vulnerability. How do you know what your employees are using for passwords? You can't. You've got to provide them a tool. You have to provide them a tool. We like Keeper. LastPass is out there. LastPass has been breached a couple times. I think there's like Password One or I don't know, some other ones that you can use. I would definitely not recommend, right? This is a pro tip, definitely not recommend Safari, Keychain, or Chrome or Edge managing your passwords. Okay. You need to get that into a vault and manage that stuff. You need to have a password policy for all employees. We have a generic one. You can reach out to me. I'll send it to you. But that's where cybersecurity really starts. You have to have a password policy manager. They're like $2.50 a user, and then it kind of goes up from there. Maximum $5 per user, right? You've got to have people creating hard passwords that they don't remember, right? And it's not on a sticky note, and it's not the same damn one across all of your financial institutions, your vendors, and et cetera, right? You have to be serious, and you have to be using a password manager. All right, so that's on there. 24/7 SIM or XDR monitoring and extended log retention. Basically, what that means is we're monitoring all the traffic across the network. We're putting it into a log. Therefore, if you get breached, and one of the things that happens is there's a breach, you didn't know it was a breach until 3 months later or a month later or days later, and you have to go back through the logs. A lot of compliance people are looking for that. So that's an add-on there too. IAM, Identity Access Management. The next thing that I really love is zero trust stuff. We've got a couple of clients using this. For remote workers, it is kind of what we call a virtual firewall. It is different than a VPN. It allows us to basically control and monitor all the traffic when the end user is at their home, remote user is in their home, at a coffee shop, at an airport. It's an always-on firewall. That's probably a good way to look at that. Very powerful. You're going to see that starting to make some waves in the side. And then managed backup disaster recovery, security awareness training, SAT. I think SAT is really powerful because it's what we use to train employees. That is the practical side of our pillar, and we are trying to educate all of our employees, clients and employees with the knowledge, right? So they understand what the threat actors. Listen, there's a new scam like every month. And the more that your employees understand what those scams are, what the acronyms are, in the different scenarios, becomes powerful. So SAT training. And then kind of the last thing, which we don't do in-house, we're never going to do it in-house because it kind of defeats the purpose, is pen testing, both internal and external. We've vetted a really powerful company called Black Hills. In fact, I just had an email from a client. We're going to be setting those up. We do have clients that do those annually for compliance. We don't do those in-house. Couple of things. One, we want to know where we're vulnerable, right? We're not perfect. I'm not saying that we're perfect. Vulnerability testing, internal and external pen testing, is a key strategy. And we work with the pen testers. We provide them the information, and I tell you what, we want them to come after us. Those guys are sitting out in working in spaces that we're not necessarily working in, and we're working together, right? They're looking to find vulnerabilities to help us be better. And I also think that that's kind of an interesting to kind of segue off to that is our MSSP services are built to work and coincide with internal IT teams and existing IT companies. Not all IT companies have the wherewithal to do what we're doing. And one of the things that we go in, we want to help all companies reduce downtime. Internal IT teams typically are understaffed and they're overworked, right? But they also view us as a threat. Like if we bring in, Chris and his team, those guys are going to run us out of a job. That's not our intent. And we run into a lot of pushback. And I get that. But what we're trying to do is work with internal IT teams to make them better, right? To reduce burnout. Burnout is a cybersecurity threat. And what we do is we kind of come in and we provide another view to help the internal IT team be better, right? They're really good at the internal systems, but there are some stuff that they don't want to do. I shouldn't say don't want to do, but don't have time to do that we do, and we do it at a high level. So this is like one of the things that we're trying to work with internal IT teams. We do work with a lot of great internal IT teams. We've been turned away by internal IT teams because they view us as a threat. That's unfortunate, but I totally get it. But our MSSP package coincides with any internal IT team and any kind of IT company out there that's looking to have a second opinion. And we provide that. So, and then we have all kind of the custom management reports. All right, so let's talk about the Security Operations Center. I know this is running long, but this is just the way that the ball bounces. Parrish will do a good job of creating some snippets to get out there. So, Security Operations Center. How is this different than our help desk? And maybe we should have led with this, Parrish. But the help desk is managing, all incoming tickets tied to end users looking for specific issues. Printers, the nemesis of our being, printers, blue screens, access to the internet, slowness, password resets, like the whole gamut. What we've done is we have created a new team and a new portal, a new phone number, a new email, specifically for our Security Operations Center. And the team, right, we've identified our SOC team, which will be managing that. They will be on call. It's two different groups. And one of the things that I wanted to make clear when we rolled this initiative out was we can't just commingle it, because that's cheap. That's misleading. We don't do things that are cheap or misleading around here. We are transparent and we're authentic. And damn it, when we got to do it this way, it's the hard way. It would be very easy for us to say we're MSSP, say that 10 times fast, MSSP, but really not being MSSP. You know what I mean? So it's a whole different group. Now, I'll also be transparent in saying that obviously we do have some of our leads that are sitting in both queues as a resource, but we do have a dedicated team that will be monitoring those. So the infrastructure is all ready to go. Now, we're going to take it up a notch, right? So who has heard of SOC 2? Security Operations, it really is it's a high-level certification that proves the level of security that your organization has, right? In fact, bear with me. Let me just get the... let me ask chat here. SOC 2 stands for Systems and Organization Controls. It's a cybersecurity compliance framework developed by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants. Why they give this to a bunch of accountants, I'll never know. To ensure that service providers securely manage data to protect the privacy of their clients. Okay. You are not required to be SOC 2 compliant to be identified or market yourself as an MSSP. So, in the spirit of what we do here at Adams Technology Group, what do you think that we have embarked on? Not because we need to say that we're an MSP, but we need to be better. So we have an initiative, and we've already started this process. We've reached out to several auditors, and we're going through and vetting them. We are going to make the heavy lift. And when I say heavy lift, it's a heavy lift. It is tedious. It is time-consuming. It is a financial investment for us, not because we need to, but because we want to, and we want to understand where we're weak. I'm doing it because I want my guys to be the best, right? And gals, Gypsy over there. And it is going to make us better. It's a lift. So we are going through our SOC 2 compliance. And I'm more than happy to talk to anyone about that. So what is really, at the end of the day, what that means is I'm taking this very, very seriously. I'm putting money into this. We've already created the SOC 2 team, and it's going to be a lot of things. It's a 12-month journey, and we're already vetting it so we can kick it off on January 1, maybe sooner. And we're going to go through. We're going to pull down our pants. And we are going to find out where we're not good. And it's going to make our guys and gals better, right? It's going to make our entire team better. Then we're going to pass that information on to our clients, and we're going to make our clients better. So that's kind of what we're doing. So we are making the heavy shift for us in 2026, right? Parrish, I actually think that we've always talked about cybersecurity almost at the beginning of every year for whatever. And it's always been part of it, right? I've always said security is not one thing, it's 10 things. We're going to go in and we're going to figure out what the next 5 are with the SOC 2 compliance thing. We'll have a certification, and the SOC 2, it's an annual thing. We have to continually be a part of it. So it will be part of our P&L moving forward. But I just say that in the fact that I take this stuff seriously. Those clients who have worked with us in the past understand that when you come into the Adams Technology Group family, there's a lot of communication. We provide a lot of information. My job is to provide the facts, pros, cons, costs, and then I get that to our clients, and the clients, put it into the budget. Sometimes it's a hard no. Sometimes it's okay. That makes sense. How can we roll that out over the next 6 months, or can we put that in the budget for 2026? That's a great partnership. That's what we do. We are never really ever been in the business of being reactive. We want to be on the forefront. We want to be a resource. We're a partner. We got to tackle this security stuff, and it's not going away, folks. I mean, if you think cybersecurity and the threats are just going to dissipate, machine learning, AI, supercomputing, like all of these things, those are just more weapons for these threat actors to do it. And the problem is that it's a pretty good revenue stream because it's working, right? But Adams Technology Group has made a concerted effort. We're gonna put those guys in the threat, right? We've got some really cool T-shirts coming up. Hunting for what do we got, Parrish? Hunting for hackers at 3 p.m. and 3 a.m. Right? That's part of our SOC team. We got our SAF SAF shirts. I'm not going to get into that one, but that's really good. And then the WDFA shirts that are going to be coming out, and that's kind of the mantra for us. Security is an important thing. So I just wanted to put this out there. Sorry, it's a little bit of a long video, but there's a lot of important information. Sometimes I can't, dumb it down enough, and that's pretty dumbed down, right? If you want to talk about ITDR, you want to talk about SIM, you want to talk about MDR, EDR, like in all the things, I can put you in contact with Shez, Steven, Jason, Victor, like all the brainiacs over there, and Gypsy and Josu, and we can talk, for days. But I'm just saying that Adams Technology Group is putting together our SOC. It's live now, and we have clients that are utilizing those services as we get through. So if you're interested, I'm just going to say it all starts with this vulnerability audit. Like it's $5 per user per month over a 12-month period. So do the math. You got 12 employees. You got 50 employees. Obviously, if you had over 100 or 200, we can sit down and work through the some discounts for that. I don't have an issue with that. But it is the baseline. Even if you didn't use us moving forward, it will provide a lot of information about where you are sitting, right? What is your network and security posture? And then you can build it from there. So anyway, that's all I got. We're super excited about that. We'll be sending emails out. The website's already updated. Website's fantastic, adamstechnology.group. Go check that out. And then always you can reach out to me direct, 208-906-8318. Ask for Chris. One of the team members on the help desk will get you over to us. Then we can talk all things security. We can talk all things help desk, whatever that is. So I appreciate your time. Sorry for the long video, but it's going to be fantastic. So talk to you guys soon. Thanks. Bye.